Hello everyone, welcome back to what quite suddenly became a much darker game. Um, I'm not going to lie, that last episode, it actually upset me a bit because the death was just happened. It was handled so, like I said, it was handled so somberly. I was thinking about it, and I think I mentioned, in the original Colonel's Bequest, all the characters were sort of silly. They were all sort of caricatures of like they weren't really meant to be taken seriously, and so it was kind of it was a little bit goofy when they died. Horror movies, like slasher movies where most of the characters in the movie die, usually those movies make the characters out to be horrible people so that we can feel good about them dying. They're usually made to be very annoying or selfish or whatever, just really toxic people so that the audience can feel satisfied about them dying. You don't want to watch good people die. It's not fun. And Margot, even though she was a flawed character, like obviously, she had stolen some stuff, so obviously she had her flaws, but she seemed like, I don't think she was a bad person, just obviously she had some problems in life, as everyone does. And so it was actually, like I said, it was really upsetting when she died suddenly like that. I think that might be my biggest complaint with the game so far. I know the game is trying to make us feel things. I mean, that's kind of the point of stories like this. The point of stories is to make you feel emotions, both good and bad. But I don't know. I guess it was obviously it was intentional. I mean, I don't think that was accidental. That was put in the game intentionally. But gosh. Anyway, so last time we needed to find Nathan, didn't we? You have a good night, Miss Maple.
Thanks, Jack. You too. Two people with southern accents in Canada. Two people with American southern accents in northern Canada. Talking to each other at night by the riverside.
We needed to find Nathan. He was gonna do something with the car, wasn't he? So I guess he's probably gonna. Yeah, I guess he's probably gonna look through the window. Is anything noteworthy? All right. Hey, Nathan.
Here's Nat.
A note has been added to your notebook. What note has been added to our notebook? Find Nathan again. Okay, so we found Nathan again. Okay, so let's see what's up here. Inspecting and adjusting the headlamp on the automobile.
Good evening, Nathan.
Ah, I thought maybe you were Evan. Sometimes he likes to walk the grounds when he's troubled. I wonder where he is now. All right. Weren't we supposed to... I don't even remember why we were supposed to find Nathan, but... Somehow I feel like... Was there supposed to be more to the conversation than that? Hold on. Oh. Well, let me load that game. Apparently, we're not supposed to talk to Nathan, even though the notebook says to find... Well, okay, to be fair, the notebook says find Nathan. It doesn't say talk to Nathan. Apparently, we're not supposed to talk to Nathan.
Here's Nat. But instead of talking to him, I'm going to do what a normal human being does and climb this ladder. Because that's the normal thing to do when you find the person you're looking for. Climb up a ladder and hide in the attic.
Is that an attic? I guess it's an attic. It's not really an attic. I don't know what it is. Oh boy. I've made the adjustments to the headlamp. Should be fine now. Thanks, Nathan. Other than the minor repair, there are no other problems with the automobile. Do you think Albert suspects anything? Who cares what he thinks? We've kept him here. He might be convinced to help us. That's what's important. Oh, boy. I like how she just suddenly knelt down like that when the conversation gets interesting. She's like, oh, I want to listen in on this. Convinced, brabbed, threatened, he'll be useful. Oh. Oh my, this is... I think so. He and I are meeting up in the boathouse to discuss his possible usefulness. Even tried to make Albert go away earlier. It didn't work. And now the bridge is out. That's unlikely to happen. Maybe Albert can be persuaded to head westward for the right price. Maybe. I'll let you know what transpires. I'm going to look for Evan. I can tell he's upset, but you know how he is. Always going off on his own, yeah. Maybe try the jetty? Thanks, I'll check there. I have a few other places in mind first. My meeting with Albert in the boathouse begins shortly. I will look for Evan after that. Good luck. Okay, so the car is not actually broken, and they made up a story about it being broken to keep Albert here. But why? Why? Well, I guess that's the counter question. Why not? Why not? A note is added to your notebook. Okay, cool. What does the note in the notebook say? Oh, find Evan. Okay, I need to find Evan. All right. Well, I'll better save here. Eavesdropped in. What is this? The car? I get the garage. I was going to say car house. Duh. Car house. It's a garage. Climb the ladder. Should we talk to Nathan now that he's here? Or... let me check. I mean, I really shouldn't just keep looking at the walkthrough. I just don't want to miss anything because it seems like... by golly. Nathan yelps in surprise. Okay, well, I was going to wonder if we should use the element of stealth and try to sneak out without him noticing us, but I guess that's not going to happen now. Oh, Nancy, I didn't see you there. Hi, Nathan. I'm just
eavesdropping on you and Jack. Don't mind me. Good evening, Nathan.
Oh, I thought you were... okay, so this is the same conversation as before. All right. Okay. Open door. Pardon me, Miss Maple. I'm expected elsewhere. What is he doing? Oh, he turned off the lantern. All right. Have a good night, Nancy. First he calls us Miss Maple, and now he calls us Nancy.
Good night, Nathan. I wonder where Nathan's off to.
I know it's been out here now, but does that mean I'm supposed to follow him? I guess not. I don't know. Okay. All right. Closed door. To save energy. Actually, it's not really saving energy because there's no heating or anything in that building, I don't think, so we're not really saving anything by closing the door, but oh well. All right, where do we go now? Are we supposed to... oh. I was going to say we're supposed to look for somebody. Are we supposed to follow Nessa? That was Nessa, wasn't it? Are we supposed to follow her, or... Let's follow her. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? I mean, she could kill us, but I doubt she will. I'm going to assume we're supposed to follow her. I'm assuming that's why the game is doing this.
Nessa and Corvus seem to be having an intense conversation. If I can get closer, maybe I'll be able to hear what they're saying.
Okay. So, let's see. Do we, that's interesting. There's a whole bunch of other stuff we're supposed to do before doing this, but let's see. Can I just say hide behind tree again? Yes, I can. Okay. You can see ourselves behind an ideally situated apple tree.
I won't be needing this anymore.
Nessa takes a silver flask from her pocket and pours it out onto the grass. Arsenic? I mean, the obvious... oh, well. What's that?
Water adulterated with poison. I soaked flypaper in a glass jar and poured the liquid into my silver flask.
Okay, so she's the one who's been using poison. Okay, so Nessa is probably responsible for Margot dying. But did she intend for Margot to... I mean, probably did. She obviously hated Margot, so I guess... I'm trying to think, could it have been accidental? But obviously it wasn't accidental. I was thinking, could it have been meant for someone else? But probably not. It was probably meant for Margot. I don't know. It seems reasonable to suspect that it was meant for Margot.
Toss the jars over the waterfall, easy as pie. I didn't think you'd be quite so effective. I was thinking you'd be more gradual, less dramatic. The tart couldn't even die properly, but no matter.
Okay, yeah, it was very obviously intentional and very obviously targeted at Margot. Okay, no question about that. It could look suspicious and be investigated. Oh, it will be, sir. Believe you me, we will be investigating that.
What does it matter? There aren't any rangers around or any other form of law in this godforsaken place.
But we don't want any more complications.
This will all be over soon, but we'll need to be bold.
Be bold and edit Wikipedia. And get a BlackBerry bold. I'm ready for the next step.
Good.
It's hilarious that nobody sees Nancy because she's so badly hidden. Like she's not good at hiding herself on. Like she's so conspicuously visible there, but nobody sees her.
What a strange conversation. Nessa mentioned tossing some jars into the river by the waterfall. I should go to the waterfall and take a look.
All right, so listened to Nessa and Corwitz. Nessa has emptied her flask of a liquid. Nessa threw jars into the waterfall, and that's what somehow involved in Margot's death. Nessa and Corwitz are up to something. Look around the river for clues. Okay, so we've got a few different things that people are looking for by the river. Nathan and Jack were obviously looking for white garnets. I mean, diamonds, obviously. Oh, what's this? That's obviously something. That is obviously something right there. And I'm gonna guess... I'm going to guess that we will die if we try to get it. Yeah, I mean, she's not... Okay, how are we supposed to... Alright. Let's check our inventory. What do we have in our inventory? We've got to... Oh, what's this key? Where did we get this key? I don't even remember getting this key. Oh, and what's this? Oh, this is Margot's hair. Margot's hair looks brittle and split at the ends.
Her hair seemed to be thinning and falling out, too.
Somebody did mention, by the way, in the comments of the previous video that hair loss is presumably also a symptom of arsenic poisoning, because if it makes your skin, if it affects your skin that way and like makes your skin thicker and like patchy, then it will probably make your hair fall out as well, because it will probably affect your scalp like that. So yeah, everything is consistent with arsenic. What do we have that we could use to... That rope, maybe, but... I mean, the rope, maybe, plus... This is one of those rare situations where it feels like this puzzle might be preferable with a point and click, like with a real point and click interface, because you could probably just click the rope on things. I'm going to assume the rope is somehow involved here, unless we need to use something we don't have. How could we retrieve that from here? Because it's pretty far away. Like Nancy walks about this far, and that's like several feet or meters away from here. Like, I mean, the distance from here to here, it's actually, it's a little hard to tell because of the perspective. Just a little bit hard to tell because of the perspective here, but I'm going to... how are we gonna get that? Even from here you can feel the chill of the racing water. Yeah, but I mean, look in water. Unless I'm just fooling myself if it's not something, but I feel very sure, like the way it's glinting like that, it's gotta be something. Unless it's a red herring. Unless Julia put that in the game just to mess up people by making them think it's something, because it's definitely meant to look like something. Okay, hold on. Time for the walkthrough. So what do we do here? So we go to... Okay. All right. According to the walkthrough, I was right about the rope. Um, Tie rope to tree. Yeah, okay. Okay. I thought maybe we would use the rope as like a lasso or something. This solution is, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, sort of. Losing a rope around your waist.
I'm not walking around with this rope tied around me.
Well, no kidding. Gosh. She can't walk with the rope tied around her. That's great, great detective work there, Nancy. A plus for you. You are a super sleuth. All right. Now can I walk into the water? Dive into water? I mean, how am I supposed to swim? Can't even use swim. Ah, hold on. Okay, it's a jar, but how are we supposed to know that? Because like I can't even look at river. Ah. Okay, if you say look jar, it says there's a glass jar bobbing in the furiously churning water. But how are you supposed to know it's a jar? I mean, I guess you could guess, but still, just better make a flash of yellow inside the jar. A note has been added to your notebook. I mean, you could guess that it was a jar, but it would be nice if the game told you there was a jar when you say look at the river or look at the water or something. Looked at jam jar. All right, can we get the jar? You take the glass jar. All right. All right. Note to enter your notebook. All right, can I get the rope now?
I should untie from around my waist first. Untie rope.
Okay, get the rope. In your enthusiasm to secure the rope to the tree, you created a series of utterly undoable knots.
That's okay. The rope has done its part.
Okay, that's the game's way of telling us that we can't get the rope back, which in itself is, I guess, not bad. I mean, hopefully we won't need it again. But cut rope from tree. What I'm worried about is that somebody's going to see the rope here and figure that there's been somebody snooping around. I mean, obviously somebody tied the rope to the tree, so I'm worried that somebody's going to see it and say, well, what the heck is going on here? Why did somebody... But I'm going to guess that the game doesn't intend for us to do that. The game intends for us to just leave the rope here and it's not going to be a problem, so okay. All right, what do we have here? As you retrieve from the reading room, inside is a damp strip of fly paper. Uh-huh.
This looks like one of Jack's jam jars.
Closer inspection reveals a white powder residue at the bottom of the jar. A strip of damp fly paper is inside the jar and a small oily spot on the outside of the jar. Ah, oily spot. That's probably a fingerprint. Probably a fingerprint. Put soot on jar. Put some soot on the surface of the jam jar. You reveal a distinct fingerprint. There we go. All right. Get fingerprint from jar. You are already carrying the jam jar that has the fingerprint on. There is no need to lift it from the jam jar for safekeeping. Really? Get fingerprint? I don't understand. I do not understand. Compare fingerprints. Include the following. The fingerprint on the glass jar belongs to Nessa. Uh-huh. Big surprise there. Big surprise there. Okay. Examine the jam jar again. Found his fingerprint on the glass jar. All right. All right. I guess that was that. I mean, more conclusive evidence. I mean, I think the evidence is pretty conclusive at this point. We found a jar with arsenic in it, or, well, fly paper. I mean, Well, actually, it's an interesting question. I'm just thinking now because we know what Nessa said. We know very clearly what Nessa said. We heard it. But this was an era before, smartphones or other kind of portable devices that could record audio. Today, Nancy would have filmed them. She would have taken out her smartphone and filmed the conversation between Nessa and Corvus for possible later use in a court trial. But now it's going to be Nancy's word against no one's. I mean, against Nessa and Corvus because there were no other witnesses, and the conversation was totally verbal. Nothing was written, nothing was recorded, so there's no way to prove what they said in a court of law. So if this comes to an actual murder trial, the glass jar is very circumstantial evidence. The fact that Nessa's fingerprint is on the jar would not really stand up in a court of law because, okay, maybe she touched the jar. That doesn't mean she's the one who put the poison in the jar. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. Oh, we go back to the. It's not a. What I called a garage is a carriage house. Okay. I was almost right with a car house, except not car house, it's carriage house. Okay, so actually wasn't too far off.
Ah, Mr. Richards, there you are. Mr. Richards.
Evan doesn't acknowledge your presence. He looks lost in thought, or maybe highly inebriated, possibly both. Evan is quietly, morosely drunk and sits precariously on the edge of the jetty.
Mr. Richards, what are you doing here?
He ignores you and continues drinking. Well, I can't say I blame him. I'm worried that his precarious perch there on the jetty is going to cause him. Somebody's going to want to kick him into the river, so let's go ahead and do it. It doesn't accomplish anything. All right. I just say that because, classic justification. I mean, if we didn't do it, then somebody else would. That's basically the classic justification that every monster is used to justify their crimes, right? If I hadn't done it, some other person would have.
I hear rumbling in the distance. Is that thunder? Oh, it sounds like an automobile heading towards the carriage house. Is Jack back from the train station? Maybe I should head over there and see what's going on. Or I could head to the lodge and see what's going on there.
Note is to your notebook. All right, let's take it. We're getting a lot of notes. Go to the dining room when ready. Wow. Okay. How do I know when we're ready?
How will I know when I'm ready?
I guess that sound of the car going to the carriage house is... Oh, I hear voices coming from the doorway. What are they? Okay. Eavesdrop. Oh, I need to use the listen with the glass. The drinking glass, blah, blah, blah. I can't know why you're really here. Who knows what could happen? Who's this guy? Some new guy just suddenly popped up. Wow, he really looks like... This is probably not intentional, but he reminds me of nobody so much as Kurt Dieka from The Saboteur, which I don't know how many people know who that is. It's a game. I mean, The Saboteur is a game. It's like a relatively new game from like only 15 years ago. I think it was from 2008. And like the arch-villain in the game is some Nazi guy named Kurt Dieka, and he looks a lot like this, in my opinion. I don't even know what accent to use with this guy, because I don't know who this guy is. I don't know where is. Is this guy Canadian, or is he from some foreign country as well? I don't know. Okay, since he looks like Kurt Dieka, I'll use a German accent for him. Of course. I understand the potential risk involved. I would be discreet with my investigation. We'll just say you were in the area and that's how you got here so soon. Not that you were already on your way. Understood. The young lady. Margot. Yes, Margot. Is there any reason to believe her death was suspicious? I'm probably making his accent sound more French. It's kind of a... I should know how to do proper German accent, but I don't really. It's kind of ironic. She's always been a bit sickly. Don't bother yourself with that. Just make like you're looking into her death. That'll be good cover. But focus on what you're really here for. Okay, Jack. The conversation seems to be over. Should we try going inside? Let's... Jack with new guy. Who's this new guy who just suddenly popped up and is like... Gosh. Oh, hello, Nancy. This here is Ranger Murdoch. Lucky for us, he was in the region. How do you do, miss?
Oh, pleased to meet you.
We're all gonna meet up in the dining room. Come along when you can.
Will do.
Come to think of it, I'm gonna have a cup of tea in the kitchen before heading into the dining room. It was a thirsty ride back. Good evening. Please meet us in the dining hall.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is he kind of meant to be like, oh, what was his name? Heimlich? The very stiff German guard from Lorbo 2, Dagger from and Raw. He's like a less funny version of that guy. He does seem kind of stiff and German, almost like he's a parody of a German character. I don't know. All right, let's go back inside the lodge and see what's going on here. Who's around? Has anything changed? I know I said it was going to be boring if I do this kind of scan every time, but now I'll do this. So much has happened that I want to kind of get an idea of who is where and whether anything has changed. So far, I don't see anything different, and we haven't found any people. Nobody's here. Oh. Was I supposed to come here? I mean, I guess this is almost everyone, isn't it? Was I supposed to come here, or was I supposed to go somewhere else first? Hold on. Okay, I wasn't supposed to come here yet. This is the end of this chapter, and we're supposed to do this at the end, but we're not ready for this yet, so I'm going to skip this. Excellent job. Kudos on your Thor investigative technique.
Oh no, where's Mr. Richards?
Chapter 5, Escalations. Okay. You are shocked to see such disarray. Okay.
I don't like the look of this.
Okay. I'll come back to this. I'll come back to this because I missed a lot of stuff. I missed quite a lot of things. We go into the dining room last, but first we need to check some other stuff in the lodge. So, all right, let's do this again. So let's go ahead and meet with Ranger Murdoch, just so that he can be introduced to us. And he tells us to meet him in the dining room. So, okay, fine, we'll do that. But first, let's see, what do we want to do? Okay, let's go upstairs. Right, okay, we want to go upstairs and, oh gosh, really? Oh boy. All right. Oh boy. Sorry, I'm just laughing at what I saw in the walkthrough, but I don't want to spoil it until we see it because... All right, let's see, hold on. Nobody's around here. Nessa's here. Hold on, let me talk to Nessa, but first, nobody's here. Okay. They're sitting stiffly on the striped love seat.
Good evening, Nessa. It's very late and I'm tired. I have no patience for you right now.
Well, apparently we're supposed to ask Nessa about the jar, which seems like a singularly stupid thing to do. If you know that somebody has just poisoned someone, is it a good idea to ask that person about the evidence that you found against them? I mean, what are we going to say? Well, rather than speculate, let's find out. Ask Nessa about jar.
Nessa.
Oh, Nancy. Don't advertise to the suspect that you know... Oh, man.
Yes, sir, I found your fingerprint on this jam jar.
So what?
I found it in the river. There's a damn strip of flypaper in the jar. And if you examine the jar closely, there's a white powdery residue inside. The boxes of flypaper at the lodge contain arsenic. It says so right on the box.
Nancy, you are the worst investigator ever. Well, I mean, her actual investigation skills aren't that bad, but you need to be able to keep a secret, girl. You need to not just go to the suspect and tell them, "Hey, look, I found all this evidence against you. What do you think about that? What do you say to that?"
You've sucked the flypaper in.
She's literally accusing Nessa to her face of poisoning Margot. I mean, not specifically poisoning Margot, but it's obviously implicit. Contextually, it's obviously implicit that Nancy's accusing her of being responsible for Margot's death. Nancy, are you for real?
You've soaked the flypaper in water to get the poison out of them. I've taken it.
Oh my goodness.
I've taken a sip.
Oh wow. Nancy. I'm sorry, this is so cringe. To use a word that's popular on the internet today, this is so cringe.
I've taken a sample of Margot's hair. Did you know that there are chemical tests to detect the presence of arsenic in biological samples? I smelled garlic in Margot's breath, but she never ate garlic. A garlic odor is one of the signs of arsenic poisoning. When she was alive, Margot spoke of bodily aches and pains and nausea, but those were recent occurrences. Probably around the time that you and Corvus showed up at the lodge, I'm assuming. I examined Margot's...
This is just so surreal. This is like beyond surreal.
I examined Margot's body. I found indications that her body had been exposed for some time to arsenical compounds. I saw you empty a flask in the apple orchard. You were concealing arsenic-infused water in your flask. I overheard your conversation with Corvus in the apple orchard. Pretty incriminating.
Again, it's totally verbal. There's no way to prove it. I mean, even if Nancy testifies in court as an eyewitness to the conversation, there were no other witnesses. It's her word against two other people's word, and Corvus is a lawyer.
I've deduced enough about Margot's fate to make a very strong case to the authorities. I believe you murdered Margot and used arsenic that you obtained from flypaper to do it.
Nessa averts her eyes and looks uneasy for a moment before composing herself. She grimaces.
No one will believe you. Why would they? You are just a silly girl.
We'll see about that. I will bring this to the authorities.
No, just a minute. Was I supposed to do that? Okay, the ranger isn't here to investigate Margot's death. He has another purpose. Confront us about Jen. So, it says tell Ranger about your investigation. Why would we tell him when he's not here to investigate Margot's death? If he has some kind of ulterior motive for being here, why would we tell him? Because he's obviously not, he doesn't even care. In fact, he might be conspiring with Nessa or some other people. Were we supposed to do that? I mean, the walkthrough says to do that. The walkthrough says to ask Nessa about the jar. And that triggered that whole conversation that we just had. But seriously, I'm not particularly savvy or whatever you want to call it when it comes to these things. I mean, I don't watch a lot of murder mysteries or read a lot of murder mysteries. I'm probably about as naive and unsubtle as you could get when it comes to like investigating actual murders or other crimes like this. And to me, it's blatantly obvious that what we've just done has put a huge target on our back because Nessa knows that we know. And that means she's probably going to try to get us out of the way too. That means she or somebody else is probably going to bump us off so that we don't tattle to the police. Especially now that this cop is here. This guy, even though he's apparently not actually meant to investigate, he's got some other motive for being here, but other people don't know that. Nessa probably doesn't know that this cop is here for other reasons. She probably thinks that the cop is going to investigate, and she probably thinks that now we're going to go straight to the cop and tell him everything that we know. So if I were Nessa, I would want to kill Nancy as quickly, or maybe not kill her because that would be suspicious, but somehow interfere, somehow incapacitate her in such a way that she couldn't talk. and squeal to this police officer. That is so obvious. That is so glaringly obvious that you don't go to the murderer or even the murder suspect and just tell them, "Hey, check it out. I've got all this evidence. What do you think of that? Tell me, tell me your opinion about this." Oh man. Sorry, I'm taking this game too seriously. It's a computer game. I probably shouldn't get this involved in. All right, accused Nessa. I guess that'll be it for now. This has been a further episode of the Crimson Diamond. I can't tell if this is intentional. This could go two ways. Either Nancy is playing like five-dimensional chess and she has some kind of idea in the back of her head for why she's accusing Nessa this way. If so, then okay, maybe there's some kind of plot twist coming, some kind of huge twist ending where she expects Nessa to do something crazy and is anticipating it. Otherwise, what Nancy has done is just about literally the stupidest thing that she could possibly have done. Like 10,000 times stupider than the second stupidest thing she could have done. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll find out in a future episode of Let's Play the Crimson Diamond, but that won't be this episode because I'm finishing now. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye for now.